who has completed the Triple Crown not once but twice, Stephen Hendry. Listen, it's been a fantastic week here in Coventry, Neil, but you can sense tonight a real anticipation in the crowd because we've got to the business end of this one, haven't we?
We certainly have, you know, and all of the players remaining are all champions in the last year. There were a few players that they wanted the ranking list because that's the only way they could get 16 players. They've all gone now, and all of the guys left are in brilliant form. I thought the standard at the start of the week was good, but it's got better and better.
Yeah, and of course, this is a rerun of last year's final, which was a cracking match, Stephen.
Yeah, it was very, very high standard. Great victory for Shaun Murphy. He had a very poor record, especially in the business end of tournaments against Ronnie O'Sullivan. So it was a magnificent victory for him, a real sort of turning point in his career, I would say.
How much will that be in the back of Ronnie's mind?
Well, I think it really hurt him last year. There's no doubt about that. I mean, he roared back from 9-5 down to 9-8, and just look at his. Now, Ronnie doesn't give it much emotion. He's quite angry at missing that. You know, he realises that is his chance gone to be champion of champions, winner again. And it hurts to lose, doesn't it?
There's no doubt that Shaun Murphy is one of the players that irritates Ronnie a little bit round the table. I think if Shaun Murphy can get plenty table time tonight, there was times in that final where I watched Ronnie and he was literally following Shaun around the table with his eyes, like watching him.
That must be quite an intimidating.
Yeah, but I think if there's something about Shaun that annoys him a little bit, and then that if that kind of Shaun can use that to his own advantage and stay on the table, it might help him win tonight.
OK, let's hear from him now. Shaun Murphy's been talking to Phil Yates.
Shaun, the first semi-final tonight, and all four players have reached the last four in cracking form. It's a really phenomenal lineup.
Yeah, and to be honest, completely unexpected for me. I mean, certainly with the form I've shown in the early part of this season, I've no right to be stood here now talking. But, you know, Coventry's gone from somewhere that I, had a terrible record in to obviously winning here last year. And just when I came here the other day and you walked through the doors last time you were here, you were lifting the trophy. Perhaps that's just giving me that extra little bit of confidence.
And of course, tonight's semi-final, a reenactment of last year's final. You're hoping for the same kind of result.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's very, very simple when you play Ronnie. You know, you've got to bring your A game or you make your travel plans. And, I'm looking forward to a really, really good game. He played really well to come through his group. I thought I played quite well too. So I hope we put on a really good show for everyone.
You've done pretty much everything in the game, World Championship, UK Championship, Masters, the Triple Crown, all that kind of stuff, and winning here. But you've never successfully defended a title. I suppose that's the next tick in the box.
I guess so. I mean, it's it's really difficult. It's not easy, but I'll give it a good go. I'm certainly doing better than I thought I was going to do coming here. As I say, I had terrible form coming here this week, and it's just nice to string a few wins together. If I could string another one together tonight, I'd be over the moon.
And one final question. When you're playing Ronnie, is it different to playing anyone else?
Absolutely. I mean, with no disrespect to any of the other players on the tour, Ronnie is the best. And as I say, from the outset that you've got to play, somewhere near your best snooker to stand a chance and hope that he has a bad night too. So, as I say, it's a very simple equation for me. If I play my best, I'll have a chance.
Well, champ, good luck.
Thanks a lot.
Shaun Murphy there. Bring your A game or make travel plans, he says, Stephen. Do you think sometimes players give Ronnie too much respect?
I certainly wouldn't be talking that way just before going on the table against him. It's all very well to compliment other players, and I think everyone knows that when Ronnie plays well, he's just still that little bit above everyone else. But yeah, I mean, you've got a semi-final of a major competition coming up. I certainly wouldn't be talking that way.
And Neil, just to hear him talking about how Stephen's talking about how Ronnie doesn't particularly like playing Shaun Murphy. Shaun Murphy has an option and an opportunity there to upset him, to unsettle him a wee bit.
Yeah, I mean, it is worth mentioning that they played, the last 3 times they've played, it's been in a final each time, which is unusual. And after this one, Ronnie did get his own back in the UK final and in the World, in the Players' Championship as well. So, he has the better of him, but he didn't a year ago here. And, if Shaun plays well, he's got a real chance of winning. If he doesn't, I don't see how he can win.
Yeah, I think tonight, if Ronnie loses because it's Ronnie's lost because of himself. I think he's playing that well. He showed such great form against John. I says, if he doesn't turn up, it'll be down to him, I think.
Well, Alan McManus will be in the commentary box for us for the start of this one. Let's now get his tactical overview ahead of the match.
So we've got a repeat of last year's final, Shaun against Ronnie. Now we know that the match is going to be decided down the business end. All the scoring is going to be done down here. That's where the bulk of the match is going to be. We know that. I want to talk to you about the break-off and the little nuances, the differences that you can make about the break-off. Now this week I think the tables have been playing kind of strange. I've seen a lot of players breaking off, and the ball that they're hitting's come back up the table. Now, Ronnie against Stuart Bingham did that very thing. You'll see as we run it, he breaks off. This red that he hits comes back up and lands in this area. Now, that's no good, but there are ways, and you'll see Ronnie O'Sullivan change in frame 5. There are ways of keeping that red down this end. Now, what he does, he goes a little bit lower in the cue ball. He takes a little bit of forward momentum off the cue ball, which takes some of the energy out of that red. You'll see the red landing here. Okay, so that's fine. Running it on. The only other thing, though, the other wing ball comes and lands here. Now, that's no good. Not against a player of Shaun Murphy's class, because he'll knock that in probably more often than not. What Ronnie should do, I think, is put the cue ball a little closer to the brown. A little nice and low in the cue ball again, so that wing ball doesn't come up, but more of a glancing blow, which keeps this one a bit tighter to this cushion. You don't mind leaving that all day. All right, Shaun Murphy's a good long potter, we know that, but the break-off is so important, and Ronnie O'Sullivan is a sneaky so-and-so, so watch him in frame 5. He adjusts, there's no doubt about it, and I caught him.
Nothing gets past Alan McManus. Did you spot it?
No, you need to be a special kind of analyst to spot these things.
He's a fox, isn't he, Alan?
Yeah.
That's how he's still on the tour. He's thinking of new angles to everything.
Sneaky, Golden Roddy, sneaky. Interesting though, interesting point you made.
Yeah, very much so. You'll see, I think we've got a couple of shots of Shaun Murphy coming up, and the red that Alan said that Ronnie can't afford to leave out, we'll see. I mean, this is an example of his long pot. He's one of the best in the game, and you've got to keep him so tight. It's another one. It's just a great cue, isn't it, Neil?
He just drills long pots in. I mean, he did it all the way through his group. Actually, that's the kind of shot, isn't it? You know, if you knock those in, Stephen, you know you're hitting the ball well, aren't you?
And I think that the last one, I think, well, we're not going to see that. There's been many examples this week of that shot to nothing that Ronnie can't afford to leave out, because Shaun, if he's going to win tonight, he's got to get in first and he's got to take his chances.
It's interesting to hear him say he didn't really expect to do particularly well coming into this. You know, his form hasn't been there, but he sensed us when he came into Coventry, into the Rika, that he remembers lifting the trophy. Can you have relationships with tournaments where some of you have a hoodoo and some that you can begin to get some traction with?
Stephen had quite a good relationship with the World Championships, actually, so and quite a few others. But no, maybe there is something in there. As it happens, he hadn't done well here before. But the thing with Shaun Murphy, right, is he can't really outmanoeuvre O'Sullivan. He just got to outplay him and outscore him. That's really the only way he can beat him, and that's the only way most people can beat him, actually. So that's what he's got to do.
Yeah, it comes out, it's very simple. The only way Ronnie's not going to pop balls if you keep him in his chair.
Well, Ronnie, of course, has never missed a final here in the tournaments he's played in. Let's take a look at some of his action in the way to this semi-final.
I think what we love about Ronnie, it's a different kind of set of analysis, Stephen, is it? He's a beautiful controller of the ball and creative player.
I've said many times, the most important ball in the snooker table is that cue ball. You control that, you're going to score heavily, you're going to win frames in one visit. That was a beautiful shot. A lot of players would have got too much side on that cue ball that Blade played. This was like a stun run through off 2 cushions. Again, putting the cue ball on a 5-pence piece.
Yeah, his control is unbelievable. And look at this, there's no one who splits the bunch better playing in the game now. And that's how to get the breaks, the balls open and knock in big breaks, you know, with that kind of touch and creative skill. OK,
we're going to get to the action very shortly. Coming up on the other side of the break, 2 former world champions will take to the table. Ronnie O'Sullivan looking to claim his 3rd Champion of Champions title in Coventry. He's up against last year's winner, Shaun Murphy. Ronnie O'Sullivan has had the edge over Murphy. The Rocket has 10 wins to his name, compared with just 3 victories for the Magician. But who will come out on top tonight and book their place in Sunday's final? We can expect some fireworks. In the commentary box, Alan McManus is alongside Phil Yates, but first we can hand over to our MC, Phil Seymour.
Good evening and a very warm welcome to the ManBet X Champion of Champions here at the Ricoh Arena in Coventry. This is the first semi-final. It's the best of 11 frames, and the crowd are raring to get the action underway, so let's meet the players. We begin with the 2005 Champion of the World, the reigning and defending Champion of Champions, the Magician, Shaun Murphy. opponent. He's a two-time champion of champions, the reigning UK champion, and a five-time champion of the world, the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
It's a rocket against a magician.
Ronnie, it's your
It's
choice.
a rebel against
break? Okay.
the establishment. Two great rivals, two world champions, going head-to-head in a race to 6 for a place in the final of the Champion of
Thank you,
Champions.
ladies and gentlemen. The first frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Alan, it's a mouth-watering prospect.
Yeah, and you can tell with those intros, the crowd are bang up for this encounter as well. Brilliant intros. Always a special night, semi-finals night at the Champion of Champions.
Murphy's had a wonderful career, trying to reach his 38th professional tournament final. But Ronnie O'Sullivan is trying to reach his 98th. And this is his 135th semi-final, so I think he knows the territory.
Little shake of the head straight away, taking his time, Ronnie. That tells you, well, it tells me anyway, that he's dialed in for this match.
Isn't that amazing? Because I was going to say exactly the same thing when you've watched him for so many years. It only takes a few minutes to realise just whether he's zoned in or zonked out. And I think it's definitely the form of this evening.
Yeah, he started his first match against Stuart Bingham, Ronnie, almost playing a little too carefree, in my opinion. Took him a frame and a half to get himself sort of going, and right from the off tonight, you can tell he's got full concentration. Not so sure about that shot. Got a feeling Ronnie can maybe play this and find a little gap. That's what he's considering. You see, this is a brand new cloth as well for the semi-finals, so the cue ball will arc more off this red and on contact.
So difficult to pick a potential winner of this tournament. But really, there's already been one. The table itself, this Rasson table, has been the canvas on what's been a masterpiece of a tournament.
Yeah, interesting. Refusing the red, he obviously feels that he is going to get the cannon. Such a premium tonight on getting the cue ball close to the bulk cushion. These safeties.
So the early stages, I think, for both, just a wee bit edgy, as you might expect. And that was a misjudgment from O'Sullivan.
Yeah, having just potted it off the right-hand jaw as Sean sees it, and he's lost the cue ball a few inches close at this side cushion. To straighten the black, can't do an awful lot with the cue ball. How ambitious does he get with this? Well, the answer is very. What a shot that is. Brilliant. Right, he's not nice on a red, but it was the only way he could get out for one.
8. Nine. $14.
Yeah, he's so comfortable, Sean Murphy, at getting the deep screw that there's no problem in playing. Well, he's just playing the stun for pink to middle.
15.
Hampered. 3 cracking shots to start this contribution. These are tricky. One good thing is he didn't have to do anything with the cue ball.
Second shot. Okay. 21. $22.
Yeah,
27.
Bargain on the cannon off the cluster. Had been a wee bit fortunate there, Sean Murphy. Finishing this red. Back up for blue. Musket top side, obviously. No, not
28.
good. Be busy getting on a red now from this position. See, I think the previous blue that he played with, this being a new cloth, you just get that little extra juice on the cue ball, the grab on it. That's why he cannoned the reds. Oh, that kiss will work.
$33.
So 2 slices of positional fortune in 3 shots.
$34.
But at this level, when you receive good fortune, it's all about capitalising.
Yeah, nice and straight in the red, so pick his spot now.
41.
Going into the pack. Off this next black. It's not a brilliant shaped bunch right now, but yeah, he's just having a little scan at it. What shot he wants to play after this.
$42.
Yeah, not easy to get reds moving, and not all that easy to get the cue ball out in the open.
49.
Well, he's been battling to keep the break going for quite some time now, but it's reached its conclusion.
Sean Murphy, 49.
Solid start, Alan, but by no means decisive. Well, a speculative double with safety attached. The only red he could possibly leave there was the one he went for. And that was unlikely.
That was clever by Sean. That was deliberate, putting the red on the cushion. It's a good little situation for him. Actually, right now, a couple of reds safe. Most of the frames this week have been won in one visit. 40s and 50s haven't. Far from guaranteed to get the frame one, but as I say, the lie of the land here just suiting Sean, and that's a loose one from Ronnie. I think he's left this red to middle.
Shouts of "Come on, Ronnie," his first chance of the evening.
1.
And right now, Alan, Sean Murphy is grateful of one thing: putting that red safe.
Eight. 9.
Over the years, O'Sullivan has salvaged so many frames
60.
from significant deficits. Made so many spellbinding clearances.
17.
Well, he's surprised he got
24.
there. Struck it so well.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 24. One. 8. Sean Murphy, 8.
A frame involving two players like this, if you're going to see it, more than likely it's going to come very early in a match or right at the end when the nerves are raw.
Yeah, the tricky situation this for Ronnie, because 33 behind, Sean only needs these two reds in the open should Ronnie make a mistake. So he's just weighing up whether he wants to take this on. It's probably a judgment call. It's how you feel. Looks like he's taking it on though. Yeah, bonus time, unless that red goes over the green pocket. He has covered it, but I think Sean, I'd fancy him getting this cushion first.
Instead, too thin a contact. And O'Sullivan's second chance to bite back.
Yeah, there it is again. Perhaps was hampered by the green. Thinking about that red in the side cushion. The best way to go about this.
1.
And this is where he's usually so good, formulating a little plan and trying to shift that red. Not now, but in a few shots' time. Trying to get it now though. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
And now the proverbial pendulum has swung.
5. Six.
Three of the 6 colours off their spots, but nevertheless, for an absolute genius like him, the opportunity to clear.
12. $17. $18.
Yellow and green, similar shots on opposite sides of the table. But of course, with O'Sullivan's ambidextrous skills, potential problems might not arise.
23.
Yeah, this is the shot now.
$25.
Normally for a right-hander this could be a little troublesome, but temporarily, just for one shot. O'Sullivan
28.
is a leading player left-handed.
.32.
1 point behind now, so just blue and pink required.
.37.
Just short of where he wanted to be, so a little bit of doubt. Oh yeah, little fade.
The first frame.
What a clearance from Ronnie O'Sullivan. And indeed, what a statement. He looks intense, he looks as though he wants this, and he has taken a 1-0 lead. Ultimate crowd pleaser has attracted another very large audience to the Ricoh Arena this evening.
Right.
And the vast majority of them were delighted with the way the first frame went, because they're all big Ronnie O'Sullivan fans.
Thank
who
you.
isn't
Second
really.
frame. Sean Murphy to break.
Murphy must regroup and try not to dwell. But Alan McManus, the psychology of snooker is this. Had O'Sullivan knocked in a red and made a 100 break there, he wouldn't have been as well off as he is now by winning the frame in that manner.
Yeah, huge pick-me-up when you clear like that, especially having to develop a difficult red.
Well, he cued that one pretty well. It was mighty close. Obviously, at that pace, you need to be absolutely accurate.
A chance now, maybe see Sean Murphy's skills with this rest is as good as they come. This isn't easy, but made to look very simple. Good shot.
Thank you. 1. Six. Seven. .14.
So, as in the opening frame, Murphy in first.
15.
Yeah, just not dropping his cue ball where he wants early on here. He's run out of position a few times in the first frame. That 49 break he made first up, but that's a superb recovery. Once again, it's not the greatest pack to go into from the black.
20.
Won't be doing it this time either, so one more red to play with to find that angle.
.27.
Frustratingly, though, hence Murphy's expression. The blue here hampering. And Alan, when you're hampered in mid-table like this, it's not exactly inviting.
No, I mean, there's no reason why he won't play it. The one good thing about it, just having a look at it, if he were to pod it, he's got a chance of getting low in the black. Oh, that is a great shot.
Thank you.
Best shot he's played.
28.
And actually, from this low in the black, he can catch that wing ball in the left. Bound to push quite a few into play. Yeah, well played. Good shot. Deserves to be nice on a red.
$35. $36. $40. 41.
Against other players, you're not under as
46.
much pressure in these situations, but he knows in the back of his mind he almost has to kill the frame at this visit, Shaun Murphy.
47.
Because of the quality of his opponent. That brings its different pressures.
$54. $55.
The calendar might not say so, but you get the feeling this, for Shaun Murphy, is the start of his season. It's been a phony war for him really so far. Nothing really happening.
62.
And when you think about last week's tournament, the International Championship in Daqing in China, he wasn't even there. He was beaten 6-0 in the qualifiers.
63.
But I think the prospect of defending his Champion of Champions title has woken him up.
$70.
And in the space of 7 minutes, frame
71.
2 is well and truly secure.
$78. $79.
This season he's lost in the first round of the World Open, the European Masters, the Paul Hunter Classic, and the International Championship, as I mentioned. Here in Coventry, though, we're seeing the Shaun Murphy we're used to.
86. $87. $92.
I know the pressure's off now,
93.
Alan, in this frame, but he is so dependable with the rest.
Yeah, it's been a demonstration, this break by Sean Murphy, and you'll think back to
95.
that opening red. All right, it wasn't that difficult, but you see, very dependable with it. And having knocked it in, this is the result.
Thanks. Thank you.
Normal,
96.
extended, spider, doesn't matter.
$103.
Yeah, that shot with the spider was special, wasn't it? Brilliant shot.
105.
Very much laid the foundation for him to win the frame.
108. 112. 117. 123.
'Sacrifices a total clearance for a possible
123
trick shot, which
and the
didn't
frame.
work.
Sean Murphy.
But that was total class. Sean Murphy, what a response, emphatic. He's back on level terms, 1-1. Like frames, and potentially we've got 11 of them this evening. And there is Damien Hirst, appreciating the work of another artist.
Thank you. The third
Sitting
frame.
there, Ronnie O'Sullivan,
to
his
break.
firm friend. We see him around the circuit on many occasions when O'Sullivan's playing. Just loves the aesthetic of the rocket.
Oh, we're going to need a bigger table. What a red. What a pot.
He's some boy, isn't he, Murphy? What a potter from distance. When he won the World Championship in 2005, no one in the history of the game, over a sustained period, in that case 17 days, has ever potted better from distance. He was dynamite.
Eyeing up the yellow, so he's going to take this on. Almost equally as difficult. These are tough, blind into the middle pocket. Ah, good shot.
Three. Four.
Looked a touch wide, that red, didn't it? But the brand new cloth just helping it to slide in. Off the right hand jaw. Oh, the top red. Off the black will go. Well, in fact, the bottom one might as well, so.
9.
Just the top red. There's plenty of work to do here. The black's pretty much out of commission.
10.
I think he's considering playing a deep screw into the bunch here because the pink's going to go at the back of the pack when it's respotted. That's why he played that. A little unlucky.
Well, there's a pot still available, but again, it might be one of those awkward rest shots.
$60.
I believe when he struck that, he thought it
Sean
was in.
Murphy. 60.
I did. I thought it was in.
One.
Now that looks a poor shot, but when a red is so deep into a pocket, it's so difficult to judge.
Yeah, I think the value there would have been even just trying to split the bunch and just hope for the best. It's so difficult, as you say, Phil, to judge that shot. You almost have to catch the red wafer thin to get it top side of blue.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1. One.
O'Sullivan's best pot from distance so far. Into the meat of the pocket. Not the best kiss, mind you. It meant the cue ball had to travel an awful lot in potting the blue.
6.
This actually might work in his favour, not being perfect in this red. Yeah, just getting them in the open.
7.
Definitely going to pay dividends. Once again, as I think back to the safety shot that Sean Murphy played, you have to get the cue ball not tight to the baulk cushion, but certainly near it.
$12. $13.
Yeah, this is fine. I think the red that's virtually touching the pink will go. Wants to be just a touch high on it if he can. Oh, that's perfect. And now he's getting the black into play off this, you would think. Just a little soft as cannon.
19.
One of these unusual little cannons he'll be playing here. I wonder if he's actually trying to just push a red towards a middle pocket. And he's gone full power and almost hope for the best. I don't know if that was the right shot. He's actually been fortunate in a way that the red has gone
26.
quite near the left middle. I can't believe he's taken this one on. I don't think he's favourite to get this. Oh, but what a shot. What a
27.
If it's any consolation, Alan, I would have said exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
$34. $35.
Interesting little shot here. Low in the
41.
pink next. Might elect to bring one of those reds into play.
42.
Just low on it. Probably won't. Just checking the scoreboard. He's going to need one of those 3 difficult reds. Does he risk it now? No. I'm going to wait a shot.
$48.
Alignment here, not the best. Technique a little cramped as well.
Yes, he'll be playing for a high black, obviously, but he can also play for pink at the same time. Give himself more options. That's perfect.
49.
34 and 41, so he's going to need red colour. Just checking. And played that to the inch. I don't see any way you can miss this red now. It's
56.
got nothing to do with the cue ball. We'll get over ambitious with it.
$57.
And so this is frame ball. $49 in front, 43 on. Murphy needs a couple of snookers.
64. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 64.
And O'Sullivan holding all of the aces because apart from the snookers, there's still an awkward red and the yellow as well.
Last 2 frames have just shown you how the modern game works. Leave anything sticking out, you can be sitting in your chair for quite a long time. And back to that opening red that Ronnie potted in this frame after Sean losing the cue ball, not getting it tight to the baulk cushion. He'll almost try to miss these reds in the gap because it's almost impossible. But good tip.
You do see frames won when players require snookers, of course. But they don't crop up too much. We saw an extraordinary frame in a semi-final on RTV last season. Ryan Day won a frame against Marco Fu when he needed 4 snookers. But that's like trying to catch lightning in a bottle. And the blue going there might well be extra insurance.
One.
Well, needs high value colours, so he has to pot one here. If he doesn't, I'm sure we'd see the concession.
Seven. Sean Murphy, 7.
So close to end of frame in one way, and indirectly it might be the end of frame in another. What a kiss this was off the brown. For a moment he was worried about the in-off. The end is 9 now.
One. Seven. Thanks. 9. 12. 16. 21. 27. 34.
Every indicator suggests he's in good shape, and with his highest break of the match so far, a run of 64, Ronnie O'Sullivan again moves a frame in front, this time at 2-1. First semi-final of the Manbet X Champion of Champions 2018. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Thank you, frame 4. Sean Murphy
taking a 2-1 lead. Frame 4, massively important. After this, the interval.
Interesting there. That little piece at the top of the show about the break off. I think Sean has just switched sides. Players sometimes do that. Most though tend to stick to the same side. We were in the practice room the other day with Sean. We were talking about technical things and geeky things, all things snooker. And I said to him, "Where do you tend to hit the cue ball?" And you tend to hit it with a bit of right hand side or left hand. He said, "The middle." There's a rare beast.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, he cues the ball so well. I mean, even that shot he played there, beautiful cueing, getting a tight cue ball. There's definitely been a lot of thought by both players tonight, hasn't there? And quite a few safety exchanges going on, which is good to see. I say most of the week has been heavy scoring from the off. Is this a chance? Wants this red to be straight.
Touching ball.
If it's straight, I think Sean can get through for black.
One.
Yeah, so there was just a hint of angle on it, wasn't there? So the cue ball just almost went sideways. It was difficult then to get down for black. We know what he's like with the rest. It'll be even easy to get the rest in behind those reds here. This is awkward.
Foul. Yep. Sean Murphy 1. Ronnie O'Sullivan 7.
Well, I think the referee and Sean both realised it was a foul at the same time. Sean owned up. Simultaneously, Brendan called it.
Yeah, as I say, the trouble dropping the rest over those reds, you're looking at about 3 or 4 different things, and at the same time you're trying to pot a black that's very missable. The eagle-eyed Brendan Moore, as ever, on the spot.
One.
And fouls of that nature can have such a massive impact on a match.
This is where I think O'Sullivan just normally starts to try and pick up a little bit of pace. You'll see him busier now. See the little swipe of the cue with his arms. He's trying to get his body feeling loose. Yeah, round he comes. Almost round there before the cue ball stops. Pace will be quickened here.
Yes, because in the first 3 frames he's not been
14.
running around the table by any means. Average shot time 20 seconds.
50.
For him, that's a little slower than normal. Circumstances have dictated.
$22. 23.
Helps no end as well here, playing this pink, being able to play switch to left-handed, playing for this next red. Actually, must be a strange feeling to
29.
play that kind of shot. You go in and out of ball, and you're not even thinking about the rest. You know, you can reach over and just play it as normal. Great asset to have. But obvious to say, looking for a nice angle then on the black would be the key to this.
30.
Oh, and he's got it. That's where he put it with his hand. Big shot coming up. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous shot.
37. $38. 45.
A more than useful lead, 51 points, but O'Sullivan can't disguise his frustration. And maybe said frustration manifested itself in that shot.
45.
Yeah, it's also having created the open, let's say, playing the little left-handed shot perfect in the black, and he's frustrated about that. He knows how big a frame this is. see the pace in the cue ball there. I was in the practice room this morning, that was the shot Ronnie was actually practicing. They do it for a reason. Must have played 30 or 40 of those in a row. See, players always cast a little eye over the other guys practicing just to see what they're up to, see what the little routines, and everyone slightly different, but as I say, Ronnie practices his safety play diligently. Spoke earlier about the arc in the cue ball, taking this red on full power. Watch the cue ball, it'll arc round the red. Great shot actually, this is a super shot. Needs a little bit of luck, and I think he's gotten it. No, he hasn't. It was actually a very good shot, Phil, wasn't it? You know, difficult to get the return. He managed to eke out some sort of shot to nothing.
Yeah, sadly for Murphy now though, 3-1 is looming ever larger. Especially after that. Ooh, a little bit more than I anticipated though.
Yeah, the green's a certainty, isn't it? But it could go wrong positionally.
Well, if he's knocked a plant on, okay, you could say it was fortunate, but he's on
Seven.
an alternative red to middle anyway.
And once again, this little chance here for Ronnie to just put the frame away is all because
8.
of a fabulous safety shot that he played. See, this is the easy part of the game for players of this calibre. Well, there's not that
40.
many of Ronnie's calibre, but you know what I mean. It's those safety
50.
shots that create openings.
And this is the most simple frame ball imaginable.
Yeah, say the easy
21.
part's also the fun part for players down around the pink spot. Knocking balls in.
22.
Enjoyed this part of it.
Well, from O'Sullivan, the only time we've seen fireworks was in the intros. But
27.
he's been tremendous in terms of application, attitude, patience, really.
28.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, Phil. He's been first class. It's not been sparkling performance, but he's just played the proper way.
I'll use that phrase again. Circumstances
33.
have dictated, and he's just accepted
34.
what's been given him and made a good job of it.
It's when you look beyond the talent, and it's obviously there, and you
40.
see how disciplined he is in the
41.
safety side of the game. And he just now goes in and picks up the pieces.
Can't help but think, and I've said this before, had he been this disciplined and full of
47.
desire throughout his 20s, I
48.
think his haul of trophies might have spilled out of Essex into Suffolk. Mesmerisingly good.
55. 57. $60.
And it's not that his scoring has been subdued, O'Sullivan. Breaks of 43, 64, 34, 45, and now this.
69. $75.
With the exception of one tiny positional blip, that was a model frame from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Shaun Murphy, the defending champion, finds himself in more than a spot of bother because at the mid-session interval, he trails by 3 frames to 1.